Hey family, it's Joshua Fakir, and I want to welcome you to this week's midweek motivation known as Timeout. Now, I want to just kick off this timeout by showing you this video that's just been circulating in the media and on the news for a while. You know, it's something that was a really big event that took place, and one that was just as jaw-dropping as it was and as intense as it was. It ended in such a way that it was like a big relief for many people watching. And it was a video about an accident that took place on a highway, and there was a young man who, I don't know what happened, but he ended up hitting a wall on the highway. He was in and out of consciousness, and in the midst of that, his car began to catch on fire. So there's a video that was circulating and went viral, and it was just about a group of people who decided they were going to stop their car, get out, and do whatever they could to help this young man out. I mean, it was just very intense. As I said, you could be watching it right now. Some of you seen the video already, you know, and there was these two guys who kind of took the lead on everything. There was one guy who immediately went to the car, and he's trying to get this man out, and the safety belt was prohibiting him from being able to pull him out immediately. So as this is happening, the flames on the car grew bigger and bigger. I mean, the guy even testified himself that he can feel the heat on his face. And so in the meantime, another guy pulled up, and he's trying to help and find a way he can help. And then somewhere it dawned on him that he had a mini portable fire extinguisher in the car. And so he went to go get the fire extinguisher and trying to hold back the flames long enough for this other guy to pull this young man out of the car. And so you're watching it and you're like, oh my gosh, should I keep watching? You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I should keep watching, but at the same time, you're like, what's gonna happen? And then a lady came up and she's screaming. There's a guy in the back who you can hear he's involved as well, even though he's out of the screen. All you hear him is yelling is, pull, get him, pull, get him. And I mean, there's so much going on. You hear police siren come up. There was a female police officer who pulled in and she's helping out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And thanks be to God, they were able to get this young man out of the car and away from harm. I mean, even during the moment, you can hear like a sudden explosion. It wasn't a big explosion, but it was enough to make you jump if you was watching it. And I'm watching it and I'm like, man, look at this. Look at this scene that's happening. And look how people are coming together for a great cause. You know, and the thing that really stood out to me was at the end of the video, if you watched it to the end, it was the two men who took lead after they got this young man to safety and realized he was okay. They hugged right before the video ended. And it was so, for me, it was just so timely because it was a black guy and a white guy who came together, and they came and gave each other a hug. And that hug was so, I mean, you can tell there was a lot in that hug. You can hear them slapping each other in the back. There was probably a sigh of relief. There was probably just adrenaline still going. There was probably still fear. There was probably just, you know, a happiness, a joy that they were able to come together to save this young man's life. And it was a black guy and a white guy. And I was like, how timely is this? This, you know, first and foremost, the young man his life was saved. And that's the biggest glory right there. You know, but secondly, I wanted to point out how two different people in the time of people not seeing eye to eye of different races, in a time where there's a war against racism, what can happen when two people come together and realize it's not about the black race, the white race, or this race or that race. It's the number one race that's most of all, and it's the human race. Look at what happens when we, as a human race, come together and form a team and form an alliance. Look at what can be accomplished. Lives can be changed and saved. And so for me, I paused it and I'm watching these two guys hugging each other, and I felt like I was being moved emotionally too, just by this. It was an intense situation. And so it's like, what happens when we form a team and we come together and form an alliance? Look at the obstacles that we can overcome. You see, it's about putting our differences aside. And if I didn't say it already, today's timeout is titled Dream Team. Do you have one? Because you know what? The truth is, we are all on the same team. At any moment, any time, and anywhere, you can need anyone's help. Any moment, anytime, anywhere, you can use anyone's help. There's no time to look for someone who looks like you to come and help you out sometimes. Sometimes you can, or whoever's hand is close enough to help you in that dire situation. We're all on the same team. And I just really wanted to point that out. But there's two things I really wanted to all get into when it comes to a dream team. Because the truth is, though we all may be on the same team, there's also people who you have that's close to you when you're working towards a dream and towards a goal. And so that right there is your dream team. Do you have a dream team? You know, whatever it is, there's two things we need to be mindful of when it comes to having a dream team. The first thing that needs to happen for there to be a dream team is for you to understand that there's always going to be a bigger picture. A bigger picture. These two men came together and showed us that it wasn't about this race or that race. It was about the human race, and it was about saving this man's life. You'll never be able to win the right fight when you're too busy fighting the wrong one. You know, it's when people can catch the same vision, that's when things get to clicking. When people are able to come and catch the same vision, it doesn't matter who is on that team. There's a bigger picture, and now there's no egos are put aside and differences put aside. We've seen this in 1992 with the NBA Olympic team. You got people from different races who came and to represent one country, and that was the U.S. We won gold in that country. That team was made up of people like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, David Robinson, John Stockton. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson. You got people who's coming from different parts, but they realize that there's a bigger picture. And when they were able to come together and form a team, they were able to go and win gold and showcase the talent we have here in this country. And so when you're able to catch the bigger picture, you are able to kind of come together regardless of your differences. And that's why we call them the dream team. You have to be able to catch the bigger picture. That's the first thing you need to be able to put to your understanding when it comes to forming a dream team. Many of you right now, you can struggle when you're trying to do everything by yourself. I did a video recently called Stronger on the Inside. Stronger on the Inside, and I want you to go and check that out, and I'll put that in the description below. And it's about a group of men who was stuck on ice for nearly 2 years. They were on a voyage, and the things they had to do to survive that for each and every person on that boat to make it back to their family. They ran out of supplies, they ran out of everything, but they had to learn that if you are stronger on the inside versus the adversary on the outside, you can make it through anything. The second thing you got to understand is that when you form your team and it's a dream team, understand this, that with the right team, anything is possible. These two men, they had seconds before anything could happen with that car. But because they were able to come together and able to form a dream team of their own, they were able to save this young man's life. Normally you think of a dream team, you think of everybody working towards the same dream. And I thought about it, that's not necessarily true. A dream team can be a group of people who all keep each other accountable to their dreams. You see, we can all have different dreams. Dream team is not everyone working towards the same dream. You don't have to surround yourself if you're a realtor. It's good to have realtor friends, but who else is in your inner circle that's pursuing something in life? Trust me, the obstacles are very similar. You still got to face yourself. You still got to face fear. You still got to face financial obstacles and doubters and haters. So it's a dream team is not everybody working towards the same dream. It's everyone who's together keeping each other accountable to their dream. You see, what you're going after in life, you're going to have to fight for it. And the best thing is that you're not fighting alone. Frederick Douglass says, you may not get everything you fight for, but for everything you do get, it will be a fight. You got to keep pressing towards your dream, even if you're losing steam. And that's what a dream team is. Right people around you, anything is possible. At the very end of the video, the guy who I think he was wearing a green shirt, he put something out on social media, and he kind of put a little summary of what happened and what his take was on it. And one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that he said, I will not let another soldier die on my watch. He talked about how he saw what was happening and how he had, just out of instinct, he jumped out of the car to go help this young man. And he said, I will not let another soldier die on my watch. That's somebody that you need like that on your team. You need to be able to come together with someone else and say, I will not let another dream die on my watch. I will not let another dream, a goal, someone's aspiration die on my watch. Who's on your team. You see, don't judge anyone's role. As long as they're willing to play a role in your dream, they're enough to have on the team. If they're willing to play a role in your dream to help you, to help save a life, to help save a dream, then they're worthy enough to be on the team. So I want us to think about this. Who's on your team? Do you have a dream team? Sit down and look at people who you know you can count on and reach out to them. Don't do this by yourself. We can't do anything by ourselves. Unfortunately, that man was not able to get out the car by himself. But because there was a team, he is still alive today. If you have a team, some of your dreams will not die even in the middle of this pandemic. You're able to keep pushing and keep going even if you don't have steam. So who's on your team? I hope you can count me in. I'm here every day, every week, trying to give you some motivation because I care. I don't want one person to live short of accomplishing their dreams and walking in their purpose. So, dream team, do you have one? Think about it, consider it. And at the end of the day, the bigger picture is we all are on the same team. Let's get rid of all these differences. Let's get rid of all these biasness. Let's come together. We shall overcome as a human race. That's the bigger picture. We are a human race before any other race. So again, my name is Joshua Fakir. I hope this blessed you, and if it did, please comment below and share this. We need positive content out there because there's enough negative content flowing already. And don't forget to subscribe because I'm coming to you every week, and I'm gonna try to give you what you need to help you be relentless in pursuing your dreams and your goals. So again, my name is Joshua Fakir. Thank you for joining me on this timeout. I pray you blessed, and I'll see you next week.